I know it
Oh,
does.
you use the same 10 one.
Gooseneck, yeah, same gooseneck.
No, the metal came that way.
The metal came from a scrap, from a ball pin.
Oh, okay.
So
Those rubber ball pins?
that have they come out the bottom, like at Walmart and stuff. It's all scrap metal.
That's awesome.
Dude, I put that bridge just standard width.
I'm Danny, by the way. Hi. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
That's my goal. I do so now on this. I'm gonna do the drop stabilizer. I'm gonna do a ramp on it. So watch this stuff. I got some ideas. It's got time. So got the flash tire remote. It's great for.
Yeah, I run the C Premier Series 4200 fits in the front. It's a little bit more weight up front. It's the biggest battery I found that'll fit in the front. Right.
Hello everybody, this is Waffles RC, and before we start on anything, very big news. This little channel of making your own RCs, just me, in my garage, has just passed 5,000 subscribers. I cannot believe that it's that much. It's just absolutely insane. So thank you all so very much. I really appreciate it. So as I'm filming this right now, it's the day after RC Fest. Had an absolute blast. Got to meet a bunch of you guys. Just went out there, had fun, had some carnage, but I like to just drive them and drive them hard. And yeah, they break, but then I get to fix them and do it all over again. For the people that were able to come out, it was awesome to meet you, see you all in person, see your RCs. There were some awesome ones. Honestly, we almost turned that into like a hauler takeover because we were in this one area where just hauler. It was absolutely awesome. I loved it. And everybody had their crawlers and they had everything there. It was absolutely incredible and such a great time. I think we were there for 5 hours or so. Just wanted to give a quick thank you to Fast Track Hobbies up in Sacramento for putting on such an incredible event. It was absolutely insane. I loved it. It was nice getting to go to an event that wasn't brand specific. It was just bring what you have and go out and have some fun. And that's what people did. It was absolutely incredible. So thank you to them. Thank you to you guys for 5,000 subscribers. It's absolutely insane. Really appreciate everybody tuning in and watching. Gonna just keep going, keep building new ones. I already got stuff for the new one. Well, let's take a quick walk around on the stuff that broke and what broke. And then after that, I'll do a price breakdown on the hauler plus the trailer and give you the prices. And I'm going to put a bunch of links to a bunch of the parts that I do recommend because there are some parts that I don't. But I'm going to put the links in the description so that way you guys can go and get it if you want. If not, then the links are there for whoever wants to. So, the red Jeep quit working, started making noise. Apparently, this main pinion gear here for the transmission is sort of important, so we'll just leave you right there. That's the only thing that broke on that. Don't worry, we're coming to you. Not broken, but we'll get to it. The white Tacoma is glitching out electrically. Lost drive, lost steering. I don't know if it got too wet. My nephew was the last one who took it in the water, so I'm putting it on him. Even though I drove it in the water a lot more than him, but he touched it last. Those are the rules. Bronco is perfectly fine. Transmission is just making a lot of noise. I think the ring gear and pinion gear just got a little too close because it is incredibly loud. But it still runs and drives. Everything's perfectly fine. Mud truck, as per usual, broke the drive shaft. This drive shaft right here always comes apart. I've had multiple different types, different variations, different price ranges, and it just likes to break it. I'm sure that the angle is not very good. I don't know. I didn't do my heat shrink on it like I should have. I did it only on the bolt that goes through to hold the drive shaft onto the transmission. That one's fine. But apparently I need to do it to these other pieces as well. It certainly had nothing to do with the, hydroplaning at full throttle. But we'll just gloss over my imperfections because I had fun. That's all that matters. That little Jeep works perfectly fine. No issues with it whatsoever. But somebody made a very intricate and cool looking roll cage on the very back of this thing out of metal. And it's kind of heavy towards the back, so trying to crawl up anything, it just wheelies and falls backwards. I don't know. I'll contact the person who made that and give them a piece of my mind, that's for sure. And as you can see, none of them are clean. That's what happens when you go out and have a bunch of fun. Everything gets dirty. Except for that one, which is staying clean because, well, it's still broken. That one. That's the one I'm talking about. You're fine. You're broken. Now the meat and potatoes, the one that everybody wants to talk about. The hauler. It is working perfectly. Didn't have the only issue I really had with it is two things. One of them happened before the event, so it's not even because of the way I built it. One issue that I have is the battery. The first one wore out very fast, and I know it's because of all the lights. All the lights that are on underneath this thing, they do take quite a lot more power than I thought they would, but I was still able to drive it back to the car after the event, kept turning it off, and I was playing with the hydraulics, with the rams, lifting the bed, doing the trailer, all that stuff. And look, we have materials for the next build that's coming. For the trailer, only issue it had is the tires kept coming off. Certainly has nothing to do with the fact that I didn't glue any of these tires, and it's a triple axle, so when you turn, it just drags the wheels and the tires, and so they just kept falling off or coming off of the bead. Besides that, the rest of the trailer worked perfectly. The shift servo, if I put it in low gear, I didn't set the adjustments on the controller correctly, so it kept popping it into neutral in low gear, but when I put it in high gear, it was perfectly fine. But it kept making me think that I was blowing the transmission up, so it just kept scaring me. The other issue that it had, which is not the truck's fault, is the front locker servo. The night before, after I got the new remote programmed on it, everything like that, trying to get everything working, the front locker servo decided that it no longer wanted to function. So the front end was locked the entire time. So turning was quite difficult. And because of these particular axles, this axle was locked the entire time. That one's just open diff, so that was fine. But the thing was locked the entire time. So that made it a little difficult. So still got some work tweaking to do on this thing. Besides that, the thing did great. Didn't have any reliability issues. If anything, it's all just electronic stuff, and most of it is my fault. My workbench is a mess, but luckily you can't see it because you're in a camera, which is hiding the chaos that is my workbench. Because when I got back from the event, it was just unload, go inside, shower, and go to sleep. What I was talking about on the truck electronically, all the issues that I was having with it, is because I went with a new controller. So I got a radio link. It's a 7-channel, so it was just enough to be able to run the truck and the trailer. It came with 2 receivers. It was a little bundle deal that will come up in the price point. But the reason why I was having so many issues with the electronics is because I wired it up and tested it for about 15 minutes the night before I loaded everything up in my friend's car and we drove up to the event. So it's nothing on the electronics fault. It was on me. I didn't spend the time. I was rushing. There are a few bugs that I still have to work out, but we will get them worked out. very happy with how it functioned, how it worked. I just need to, learn how to use it. Let's talk about pricing for everything. I did write down all the prices of everything. It's back here. You can't see it. I can. I'm gonna reiterate again. I never said this was a cheap build. This is guaranteed to be my most expensive build. I think it's worth it because of the functionality and everything that it can do and everything that it did do. To me, the price is worth it. Some of you may disagree with that, and that's fine. If you don't want to spend that much, trust me, I saw plenty of people at that event that had trailers made out of just whatever wood they can find. One guy had one, he said it was made out of balsa wood and popsicle sticks, if I remember correctly. I think that's what he said. But he made a trailer out of wood. Axles made out of all thread. You can go a lot cheaper than I did. I wanted to go for more, I guess you would say, a scale look. I wanted to make it look quite realistic, and I cannot work with wood. So I made it out of metal. Let's start going over prices, and then we'll add it up at the very end. I have not added it up. Not really looking forward to it, but let's go. First and foremost, the body was a Chevy Suburban body that I cut down. Cut the back half off of it, or the back third. I cut the back third of it off and turned it into a truck. So paid $63. All of this is going to be in American dollars or United States dollars. So get your Googles out and just do a price conversion for whichever country you're from, because it's going to vary from country to country and availability on all these parts as well. The batteries for the truck were $42 for 2 of them. They're off-brand. They seem to do really well. I just am pushing a lot of electricity through them, so we'll see how they work once I get the lights figured out, put them on a switch. The trailer batteries were $33 for 2 of them. The axles. I do not recommend these axles. I've had nothing but issues with them. They weren't machined very well. They certainly weren't machined for any type of Traxxas parts. So I don't know what they made them on a reference from, but their machine was not calibrated. And unfortunately, I spent $160 on those, and that didn't include any of the internals. So there was no axle shafts, no gears for the portals, no bearings, none of that stuff. So I kind of rounded up. I couldn't find everything. And I used parts from from the Bronco. I used parts from that. So I probably have about $150 just in axle internals, which didn't fit, even though the axle internals were good ones from well-known companies. So it's not on them. I guarantee it. It's gotta be those axles. Don't get those. What do we have next? So the shocks. They were $13 for 4 shocks. They were the same price for the fronts, which were 110 millimeters. The rears, I put 90s on it, but I'm taking those off because the other thing I noticed is the thing was sitting really low, and I'm sure a lot of my traction issues was the tires were hitting on the bed. So I just ordered some new longer shocks for the rear to get the back of the truck to sit up a little bit higher. But it was still $13 for a package of 4 of them, and there's 4 on the 2 rear axles. And now I have 2 spares for the front for when I inevitably break them. So the drive shafts, I'm about $60 into drive shafts because I'm running 5 drive shafts in that truck. There's a lot of different options online, so you go and just look and see what works best for your application. Colors, strength, price, whatever. I kind of stick in the medium range of price, which is why I got 5 drive shafts for $60. The wheels on the truck in total was $64 just for the wheels, because they come in packs of 4 and the truck has 10 wheels. So I had to order 3 packs. The wheels for the trailer were about $110 because I had to get 3 sets of them because they're dualies. They're for the 14 scale. So they come in a package of 4, which gives you enough for one axle, so I had to get 3 packages to cover all 3 axles. The tires for the trailer was $72. It comes in a package of 4, once again, 3 axles, so that covered all of those. Transmission that I went with, that 2-speed, it's a front mount transmission. That one was, the front mount transmission was $58. The motor that I went with, the Hobby Wing, was $80. And that's a 2-in-1 ESC motor combo. The thing actually performed really well. It never got hot. It never really complained either about any of the stuff that I was throwing at it. For all the people that were at the event, you saw what I was doing to that thing. So I'm surprised and not surprised at the same time. So it's been a great little motor. All the servos for the truck and the trailer were $41 for a package of 2. So it was $82 because I got 4 servos. I still have 1 spare, but that was all that for the servos. The transfer case was $24. Nice, cheap, simple, just what I wanted. The links, I get the packages of just the blank, straight, stainless steel links, usually for the 324 millimeter wheelbase ones because I like the longer links. Those were $17 each. Now, I bought a lot of them because I like having spares. And as you can see, I like to have spare links. So that's why I buy a lot of them, because I never know what project I'm going to do. I never know what I'm going to need. And then the link ends, I get the metal link ends. I think these ones are QT, which is a silly name, but it's a name. I've had great luck with these things. They have them in many different colors. So if you're looking for something that's blue or red, I think they have them. They have them in black. I buy a bunch of these at a time as well. These link ends were $9 and it comes with a package of 10 of them. Then the BEC for the trailer, that was $19. I know, big spender, but it did exactly what I wanted it to. And it has 4 different settings for different voltages, so you can run whatever voltage you want to do. I did replace the winch on the trailer. It was $23 and it's a servo winch. I didn't use it. Honestly, forgot that it was even on there. I was just having too much fun. I'm sure I'll use it in another time. And then the lights, the lighting system for the truck with all the flashing modes and all that stuff, that was quite pricey. It was $14. Then the LED strips, I bought 3 sets of those, so that, and it comes with 2 LED strips. I think they were like 14 inches. Those were, in total for the 3, they were $27, so $9 for a package of 2. And on a normal RC, you're covered for that. So just keep that in mind as well. The new remote, it was $100 for the remote and 2 receivers. I thought that was a pretty good deal. It's about the same price as the other remote, but I'm not going to include that price because it's not what is currently being ran on the truck. Then the little orange flashing lights, which I am still super obsessed with. I think they're awesome. Those, once again, were quite expensive. They were $13. And for 2 little lights, that actually is kind of expensive, but they look so cool. So why would you not go with that? The rams. The rams for lifting the bed on the truck. And it was 3 different sizes. 1 short one, 2 long ones, but one of the long ones was just a little bit longer than the other. So for all 3 of them, they were $42. And I used 2 on the truck, 1 on the trailer, so I used all 3 of them, which isn't bad. They didn't have a single issue, did everything I asked them to, so honestly, I think they're really good. The link for them will be in the description below. I did find them on Amazon, and if you're looking for them, if you can find them somewhere else cheap, if you can find any of this stuff for cheaper on another website, just go with them, as long as they're a reputable site. I personally get everything off of Amazon or eBay. It's been the easiest for me, best prices. When I was looking for the rams, I was basically just looking up RC excavator hydraulic rams, and they had the hydraulic system, which was very expensive, but then they had these servo style rams, and for $42 and 3 rams, you can Like, it's not really a bad price to be able to have cool function that that truck has. So let me add all this up and I'll give you the total price. Oh, metal. Metal, I have quite a bit of metal into this truck. So the 4-foot sticks of the 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch square stock, which is what I used primarily for the entire truck and the entire trailer. They were, for a 4-foot stick, about $10 to $15 each, depending on where you went. So keep that in mind. I'm going to use a calculator, give myself a full total of all the RC parts, and then a total of all the metal. So it was more than I thought it was, but to me, I think it's worth it. My grand total came around to about $1,370 or $1,370. Now that is expensive. Once again, never said that this thing was the cheap version. This one was to see how crazy can I get with it. Obviously, crazy costs, but it's worth it. And I also did spread it out over, so I've been filming this for 2 months. I had been collecting parts for it about 2 months before that. The reality is I spread that out over 4 months. So I think that's somewhat justified. Some of you may not agree with the price, and it could be plus or minus depending on where you are in the world, where you shop at. But there's cheaper ways of getting it done. Like one particular follower that I saw at the RC Fest, he built his trailer similar to mine, just out of scrap metal. So that was free metal. He didn't buy brand new metal like I did. There are many ways that you can cut costs on these things. The electronics, RC specific stuff, like axles, servos, all that stuff, like you can get cheaper versions, I'm sure, but this is the price. I'm just being honest with you guys. So yeah, $1,370 is quite a high price, but for that same price, that would get you, if you wanted to buy off the shelf, a TRX-6 hauler with a functional bed, which is pretty cool because that functional bed tilts and slides. So I'll give it credit for that. But that's what you would get for the same price. My total is not just the truck, it's the truck and the trailer. It all depends on what you can afford. It depends on what you can do when it comes to creativity with building. But from what I saw, and what I hear on the comments for all the people that weren't able to make it to RC Fest, you guys can make them out of almost everything that anything and everything that you can find. It's incredible hearing the stories from everybody. And now that we have 5,000 subscribers on this little channel, I know it's not a big number, but it's huge to me. They can have their 100,000 subscribers. We're coming. Watch out. Waffles RC is coming for you guys. This isn't the final part of this truck. I still have a few other things that I'm going to add to it. I want to tweak it just to make it a little bit better, perform and tow a little bit better. There's stuff I have to do to the trailer as well. I got to make the legs longer. Got to work on the whole hitching up and decoupling situation. That wasn't really a big thing. It's going to be on the channel. Don't think this is just going to be a shelf queen. This thing is going to be on the channel. I'm going to use it, but I'm still going to work on it here and there and try and perfect it or get it close enough to where I think is perfect. And that's what you guys should do with your builds too. Build it to where you think it's perfect. And even if you think it's perfect, someone else could give you a really fun or cool idea that would improve yours. And that's a great part about the community. Everybody likes to share. Like, that's what I love about this channel and what I love about you guys is everybody's willing to share. Nobody that I have seen has been rude, unkind. There have been a few negative comments, but nobody's been directly mean. And everybody's nice to each other in the comments. You guys are seriously the best people out there. We're just going to keep going, and we're going to come after those big RC people. So tell your friends. Get your mama to subscribe. All the subscribers we can get. And remember, not huge, obviously, 5,000 subscribers. Not making a lot of money off this. Like, that price, the price for that truck and the trailer, that came out of pocket. YouTube doesn't pay as much, especially when you have no sponsors, nobody backing you except, you know, my awesome wife who is backing me through all of this. emotionally and financially. But anyhow, I had a brain fart. What was I talking about? Just want to say thank you again very much. Oh, did forget. Price did not include candy, so take that into your cost as well. There's probably some miscellaneous stuff that I missed as well. You know, wire adapters, crimps, anything like that. So it's plus or minus, but that's about the total that I came out to. So from Waffles RC, just want to say thank you all very, very much. Had an awesome time at RC Fest. Can't wait to get to another one. If you guys know of any that are local to the Bay Area in California, any local events that allow trucks like mine and trucks like yours, if they're home built, if you know any more events, let me know. Send them down in the comments. I want to hear about them. I want to go to them because I know for a fact I can't go to Axial Fest. Yeah, no. I have Axial-ish stuff, but nothing that they would say, oh yeah, you can come in. No, I can't. So open events. If you guys know of any, let me know. Just want to say thank you again. You all are awesome. Now let's go get the big YouTubers with our little channel. Let's go, guys. I know you got this.